I'm Mega Mike the Movie Man, and today I have a mega movie plan. Today, I'm back with another mega video for you all. Today, I'm going to be ranking all the Wizarding World movies from the worst to the best. So if you want to see my favorite Harry Potter film, make sure you stay throughout the entire video. Now, I know my ranking list is going to be completely different than yours, so make sure you leave your list down below in the comments. That way we can share our thoughts. Also, for my physical media collectors out there, I will be doing a full unboxing towards the end of my 10 film collection here on Blu-ray, so I'll definitely show off all the discs there. Also, I do have a couple Funko Pop keychains here as well from the Wizarding World that I do want to show off too, so make sure you stay throughout the entire video to see all those collectibles. But without further ado, let's get started.
Address. What's that? A safe house in Paris.
Why would I need a safe house in Paris?
Should things at some point go terribly wrong, it's good to have a place to go.
Now to get into my 11th and last place, and this is going to be a clear spot for Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Now to me, I really don't like this movie. I think this is the one movie on this ranking list that I could say I really don't care to ever see again. To me, it's just a really boring movie. If you need a movie to put yourself to sleep, then you play this movie. It's just a very bland color tone. It's really gray, and it just bores down the movie for me. And then I don't really care for a lot of the characters in here. Grindelwald, played by Johnny Depp, I just don't think is a great performance. Yeah, he looks creepy in the movie as a villain, but I don't see any depths or layers to his character, and so I really don't buy that he would be in a relationship with Albus Dumbledore, and so to me that connection just isn't there. Also, you get a large focus on Ezra Miller's character in the movie, and I don't care for this character at all. I believe the character is called Credence. I just don't think this character should be in the Fantastic Beasts movies. I think he should definitely be plucked out of the movies. Just don't really care about that storyline. And so to me, this movie loses focus. I'd rather have more of a focus on Snook's Commander and Fantastic Beasts. I'm like, where's the Fantastic Beasts in this movie? You get a couple of them, but not enough for a movie that's called Fantastic Beasts. I'm like, where are these Fantastic Beasts? Let me go find them right now. And so to me, this movie just doesn't work at all. The one cool thing I do like in the movie is seeing Voldemort's snake, Nagini. I think seeing that origin story there is really cool and a nice touch to the movie. But other than that, no other saving grace for this movie. That's why it's so low on the list.
This time, I cannot hope to destroy it alone.
Now to get into number 10, and I'm going to have to put the Half-Blood Prince here. Now to me, this Harry Potter 6 movie is just not that entertaining. To me, it's another one that can put me to sleep, so I don't really ever have the urge to go back and watch this movie. It's just one that doesn't have enough excitement there, and I know there's that mystery of who the Half-Blood Prince is, but I already kind of guessed who that was from the beginning, so that wasn't really a payoff reveal. So, I don't know, just the whole intrigue of what the movie should have been just wasn't there for me. And you don't even get a lot of Voldemort in this movie, which is weird because he's supposed to be our main villain, and I thought we should have seen more of him. And so, to me, this movie just doesn't have much excitement, and towards the very end of the movie, once Dumbledore and Harry go off on their little adventure to that creepy cave area, that's kind of interesting. And then, of course, when Snape takes out Dumbledore, that's another exciting moment. But I don't know, just the rest of the flavor of this movie isn't really there for me. It doesn't feel like a magical Harry Potter movie to me. It just feels very bleak and just dark for the sake of being dark, but no excitement value to it. So that's why it's very low on this list.
These are dark times, there is no denying.
Now to get into number 9, and we're going to have Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows Part 1. Yeah, to me, Part 1 just is such a slow moving movie, and it's really just all build up for Part 2, and so it makes me question, why did we split this book into 2 movies? I know, of course, studio wants more money, gotta get 2 parts out of the last one, right? But that first part is just so unexciting to me. I mean, it's really about them just kind of wandering around looking for Horcruxes, but they don't even really get to any Horcrux till the end of the movie where they actually finally destroy one, but that's only one Horcrux they're destroying, and there's a lot more other Horcruxes out there. So then what else goes on in the movie? I mean, it's just not really entertaining at all. Yeah, they have that sweet moment where you got Harry dancing with Hermione, that's all good and stuff, but really nothing from this movie is so memorable to where I'm like, oh wow, what a great movie and a satisfying ending here. No, it's a part one, so you really just get all the build up here, and to me, it just doesn't really do it for me, so that's why it's lower on this list.
So, you're the guy with the case full of monsters, huh?
Whose travels first?
Now at number 8, we're going to have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, I actually first started enjoying this movie for what it was. I liked how Newt Scamander was just going off to recapture these fantastic beasts that he accidentally let go into the world. And I thought that was an interesting story. I thought, wow, these creatures are really cool. I like all their different designs. They have different personalities. If you got the little Niffler one that likes all the jewelry and it likes to collect those riches. So I'm like, okay, I'm down for a movie like this just to see some really cool creature designs and see how they interact. And so I thought that was the funnest part of the movie. So when the movie was being that, I was all on board with it. But then once it gets into that Ezra Miller Credence storyline, I'm just like, wow, this is way totally different of a movie. It starts to get darker, and I'm just like, this is just an uninteresting story here, and it feels like it's another movie within this movie, so it's like two movies in one. I'm just not digging the second part of the movie, and so to me, this movie doesn't finish strong at all, especially when they think, oh, this is going to be a big reveal to show we got Johnny Depp as an actor for Grindelwald. Ooh! And I'm like, really? Like, is Johnny Depp even that exciting for an actor? Yeah, he was great as Jack Sparrow in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but since then, I mean, what has he really done of exciting value? So to me, I'm like, hey, go back to Colin Farrell. I'll totally take him as an actor over Johnny Depp right now. And so, yeah, just didn't end up finishing strong as a movie for me. So even though the first half was pretty good, the second half not so much. And so that's why it's lower on this list.
Are you kidding me right now?
Who wouldn't like our chances?
Now to get into number 7, and it's going to be Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, this movie I thought was the best out of all the Fantastic Beasts movies. I actually have a full on-depth review of this one. I'll link that video in the description below. Make sure to check out that review if you haven't already after you finish this ranking video. But just to give a couple quick thoughts here, I do think this movie is the most focused out of the Fantastic Beasts movies. I think the tone is more solid throughout. Also, I do like the action and the magical spells cast. I think there's some really good visual effect work here. I think they bring in more fantastic beasts into this movie. So I like all the creature designs and I like all the interactions of the fantastic beasts with the other characters in the movie. And I like how this one becomes more of a political spy thriller in the wizarding world. And so I think Mads Mikkelsen's Grindelwald character is an upgrade over Johnny Depp's Grindelwald character, and so I buy more into that relationship between him and Albus Dumbledore in the movie, and so I do think the characters are a little bit improved in this one, and so overall I just like the flavor of this movie a little bit better than the other Fantastic Beasts. Still not perfect, but that's why this one gets a little higher up on this list.
Let's finish this the way we started. Together!
Now we're going to get into number 6, and we're going to have the Deathly Hallows Part 2, where Part 1 was all build up. We really get the payoffs in Part 2. So I think this does become a really good epic battle and something very entertaining to watch. It does get very frantic. You have Horcruxes being searched for and discovered and then destroyed. And then of course you got this battle showdown going on all at the same time here. And so I think it's fun to see some of the spell work here. You got Professor McGonagall using that spell she's been waiting forever to do and having those knights come off the wall, and so I thought that was a really cool moment. And so just to see how they're defending this Hogwarts castle, I think is just so entertaining. And you got everybody standing up to Lord Voldemort at the end. You even got Neville Longbottom giving a good little inspirational speech, and I'm like, okay, Neville, yeah, let's go preach it, Neville. And so that's very entertaining. And when they take out Lord Voldemort, you're like, finally, we're done with this guy. And so it is very satisfying in that way. And then we get this little epilogue at the end to see, what happens to them later on in life. And I think that's all good. But for some reason, I still don't buy the relationships here. I don't buy Jenny with Harry Potter. I just don't buy it. And then Hermione with Ron. I don't know. I don't buy that one either. I feel like it should have been Harry with Hermione. I think that would have been a really good relationship there. So I don't know. I mean, I didn't read the book, so I don't know how it comes off in the books. But in the movie, I still ain't buying it. But that was the weaker part. But other than that, I think the movie is a very satisfying ending to all the Harry Potter films.
It's changing out there. There's a storm coming, Harry. Just like last time.
Now, at number 5 is going to be Harry Potter 5 and the Order of the Phoenix. So, I think this movie I have grown in appreciation for over the years. And I do think the cast members really sell this movie because you get a lot of characters in here. And you get a couple other characters kind of introduced more into this one. And you get to see a lot of them, like Luna Lovegood, I think is a really fun character. She's very quirky, and so just a really cool personality to see in a movie like this. Also, you get Bellatrix really a lot in this movie, and Bellatrix is terrifying here, and you're like, oh my gosh, Bellatrix is even more scarier and more creepier than Voldemort. So she's a really good villain in the movie, and when she takes out Sirius Black at the end, I mean, ooh, that's a heart-wrenching moment. So just a lot of good fun characters in this movie, even though this movie is a little bit more darker, but seeing how these students are just kind of banding together to wanting to take out this Voldemort force that they believe that is the true evil that exists. And then you got Umbridge in there who's just irritating. You're like, I don't like this character either. And she's basically another villain in the story too. And so you still have the fun school setting within this movie, but then they're also preparing to fight this evil, these students, against the Dark Lord. So I think that there are some good components to this movie. So it's not great in my opinion, but I think there's enough good moments in there that do keep me interested in watching the movie.
Turn to page 394.
Now to get into number 4, and we're going to have The Prisoner of Azkaban, and this is going to be Harry Potter 3. And so this movie definitely has a big tonal shift from the first 2 Harry Potter movies. So this is where it gets a little bit lower on my list, but it's still pretty high up. But I don't really like the dark shift in tone and in color palette. I definitely prefer the more poppy colors to the first couple movies. So I don't like how that changes, but we at least still get a focus on the school setting for the movie. The double-decker bus scene is pretty fun. And so we also get introduced to Sirius Black, which is definitely an interesting character. And so we get to kind of see that mystery of, hey, what's going on with this Sirius Black character? Is he good? Is he bad? Mixture of both? What's happening here? So there's a good little mystery element to the movie. Also, I do like kind of having that time travel element towards the end. It's something a little bit different. Now, it does kind of get repetitive because you do basically see kind of like the ending of the movie played over again. So it is a little repetitive, so it's not as exciting as it could be, but it's still a cool element of adding the time traveling. It's something a little bit different for a movie like this. It kind of adds sci-fi into a fantasy movie, and so I thought it was intriguing to see, and so I think they pull it off okay, not amazing, but it's still a very entertaining movie, and it's still focused on the school setting and the core characters, and so that's why this movie is a little higher up on the list.
Slytherin's got a new seeker.
Malfoy? You'll never catch me, Potter!
Now to get into what I consider top shelf Harry Potter movies, and these are all to me the movies that really focus on the school setting of the Harry Potter universe and the magical elements and just kind of the wonder of being in a school that teaches magic. So at number 3, we're going to have Chamber of Secrets, and I think this movie starts off really exhilarating with the students having to take the flying car to get to Hogwarts because they miss the the train. So I think that's a very entertaining moment, and just to see how they get in trouble for that. And then also just that horror mystery element of these different students getting petrified at the school. And you're like, what's going on? We're just trying to go to classes here, but now we got this horrific thing happening. So to see that mystery unravel, learning about the Tom Riddle character and just that diary, what does it absolutely mean, and then getting to the Chamber of Secrets at the end with the big basilisk monster. I mean, I think that's just a cool fight at the end, and then to see the Phoenix show up with the sword, I think that's all really well done. So very exhilarating movie throughout, and I just think it's very entertaining, and we keep a focus on the characters and the school setting. So this is definitely one of the movies that I do like to go back and watch more often than some of the others.
I think it is clear that we can expect great things from you.
Now to get into second place, and our runner-up is going to be the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone, depending on where you're from. So this is Harry Potter 1 here, and I think this movie does a great job introducing us to the Wizarding World. It's basically like a John Hughes movie, but at a magic school, and to me, that's when Harry Potter is working the best. And we got a great group of characters here, and to me, the casting is done perfectly in this movie, because these are characters we're gonna have to see in other movies too, so you gotta get the cast correct, and they absolutely do. And then we get to be introduced to this Wizarding World along with the main character, Harry Potter, and basically see through his eyes just kind of the joy of the magic around him, basically going through platform 9 3/4, right, and going onto the train and buying all that candy off the trolley and seeing the chocolate frog for the first time. And it's just really interesting to be in that magical world, and then having him go shop for a wand at Ollivander's. I mean, it's just a fun, magical time. And you get to see just how the school works with going to different magic classes. And then you have some action-packed moments as well when like the troll shows up, and that's really fun. And then you also get to the end where they have that mystery of, hey, what is Fluffy guarding? And they have to go and basically see through different obstacles and challenges, what has this beast been guarding the whole time? So there's a good little mystery in there as well. So to me, everything that a Harry Potter movie should have is in this first movie. And to me, it does a really good job with being a beginning movie. And I totally like the tone of the movie. It's very whimsical. And I do like the popping colors of the movie too. It feels really flushed out and really nice. So overall, a really good solid entry.
And now the champion selection.
Now to get into my first place choice, and that's going to be the Goblet of Fire. This is Harry Potter 4, and to me, this is such an entertaining movie. It's the most rewatchable out of any of the other Harry Potter films. You got the tournament in this movie, yes, the Triwizard Tournament for the Goblet of Fire, and you basically get Harry Potter that's thrown into this tournament, and he's like, what the heck, what am I doing here? And you see how dangerous this tournament can be, and then they have to solve all these like puzzles and clues to know what to do within these tournament matches. And it's like basically a Hunger's game but thrown into the Wizarding World, because this is some dangerous games. These are nothing to play around with. I mean, these tournament challenges are very serious, so you really do feel those stakes in the movie, and it's very intense, so you're just kind of on the edge of your seat the whole time with this Triwizard Tournament. And also to see the different schools competing, I think that's a nice touch that kind of, you know, widens the Harry Potter world. Also just to see all the characters' relationships with one another. You got characters getting jealous at other characters. You got the dance as well, that's pretty entertaining in the movie. And so once again, it goes back to that like John Hughes vibe of a school setting but in the Wizarding world. And so I really like that for a Harry Potter movie myself. And then just how this movie ends is very intense as well. You get Robert Pattinson as Cedric Diggory, that of course we know gets taken out by Voldemort, and it's a very somber moment. And I mean, it's supposed to be a cheery moment at first because you're getting to the end of the tournament, someone's going to win the trophy, but then you see what actually happens with Voldemort being introduced. And then them getting Robert Pattinson's character, Cedric Diggory, you're like, no, what happened? And so then it ends on a very somber moment, but then we realize Lord Voldemort is back, and we know things about to get real in this movie franchise.
I didn't put my name in that cup. I don't want eternal glory.
Next, I'll be doing a full unboxing of my 10 film collection. This is the Harry Potter movies and the first 2 Fantastic Beasts movies. So 10 film collection here on Blu-ray. Now they do have 4K disc out there for these movies. So if you have a 4K player, you may want to go that route. But if you only have a Blu-ray player, I think this set just works fine. And so you got the Elder Wand on the front. So I do like that art design on the front cover. Then, of course, you got the simple spine there. And then nothing too special on the back. But what is nice about the set is it did come with digital codes for all the movies. So that was a nice little touch. And then we can kind of look on the inside, see what the discs look like here. And so I do like how the discs are separated, so they're not stacked on top of each other, and they're not like in those little slip covers where you have to pull them out and it looks like it could scratch the disc. No, they're completely separated, which is nice. And so we got Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and it looks like you have the classic movie artwork there. So I do like the artwork being on the movies. Then you got Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban, and Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Then you got Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and Harry Potter, the Half-Blood Prince. Then we got Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows, Part 1 and Part 2. And then we have the first 2 Fantastic Beasts movies, Fantastic Beasts, Where to Find Them, and The Crimes of Grindelwald. Now, I don't really like the artwork on these discs. I think the Harry Potter artwork is definitely a lot better. These discs kind of just look plain here, so nothing too thrilling about those. But it's still nice to have all these movies together in a Blu-ray collection. So I like having them all there, and how they separate the discs definitely is perfect for this. So they're not all getting messed up or stacked on top of each other, anything like that. Plus, it came with some Funko Pop keychains. And so here's a couple of the Fantastic Beasts ones right here. We got Newt Scamander and Niffler. And so those are pretty cool. I like having those Funko Pop collectibles right there as a keychain form. Now these didn't come in like a case where you can really collect them nicely, but it's still cool to kind of have them just as little displayable items. And also there were some other ones that came with the set as well, but I gave those ones to my fiance. I believe that was Hermione and Harry Potter in keychain form, if I'm remembering correctly. But at least I got to kind of display these ones where I wanted to next to my movies. So it's pretty cool having these. So that's why we went with that set in particular. Just get those little fun keychains with them. But yeah, that's my full unboxing of that set of Wizarding World movies.
Something's coming closer. I can feel it.
So that will do it for my mega ranking of the Wizarding World movies. If you're just discovering my channel for the first time, make sure you subscribe right now. I'm going to get you tons of featured movie reviews, rankings, movie news weekly, movie hauls, unboxings, you name it. This is going to be your one-stop shop for all things movies. I don't want you to miss any of it. So make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss when I post a video. Also, feel free to share out this video to anybody that you know that likes movies, or in particular the Wizarding World movies. That way we can build this mega league of film fans together on this channel.
If you forget to come back for Madame Zeroni, you and your family will be cursed for always and eternity.
Also, like the video, and this is Mega Mike the Movie Man, reminding you to make every day a movie day.